Aha. No, come on. Yes! It'll take a while to fill. Alright, let me go to the village first. Fletcher trading is much easier and safer than Skeleton Farms. I believe everyone would agree about that. Oh man, I hate when lag ruins the music. Alright, so forcing a Fletcher isn't that hard. Relay. What do you got? Paper tray, that's certainly a nice. Lava waxed gives the rider of the straddle board fire resistance? Who the fuck is what? Scarlet? Can you explain? We can make surfboards? Oh hey, this place actually has a thingy. I wonder if there's any easy quests.
At the end of Deltarune Chapter 2, Chris opens a dark fountain, and many were left
Plants
scratching
for
their
some
heads.
arrows?
Is Chris the knight? Do they have malicious
Just a bunch
intentions?
of
Many
just
have
a
made
bunch
their
of
stances
plants
clear,
for
myself
stuff?
included, yet one stone remains left unturned. With Chapter 2's distinctly different routes, why is it that Chris still makes the same choice in the end? Some like to chalk it up to a third entity. I think that's sloppy storytelling. But I think I finally figured out a practical explanation for Chris's actions, and it all hinges on one person: Susie. So come along as we discuss the Snowgrave route and Chris's motivation. Chris and Susie. To understand Chris's motives, one must first understand Chris's relationship with Susie. At the start of the game, Susie shows herself as brash and threatening, yet even when she threatens to devour Chris's face, she shows a soft side with regards to their mother. She shows them mercy. That's not to say she's nice. In fact, she's incredibly pushy, forcing Chris to check out the closet to mask her own fears. When they finally reach the Dark World, she's the one hurrying them along, complaining if they're too slow, and all around dominating their every action. And yet, she holds no illusion of Chris's choices mattering. She doesn't sugarcoat things like Ralsei does. Susie does what she wants, making her own rules, and while at first she's extremely aggressive and hardly a team player, I think there's something that Chris admires about
Infinity
this.
Ball,
And even
excuse
after
me.
she starts softening up, Susie still acts outside
Just
of our
for
control.
logs.
During the escape sequence, we can only give suggestions. This also applies to Chapter 2's Ferris wheel scene. No matter what you choose there, Susie
Okay,
manages
I
to
have an
simulate
infinity
your
bow now, I
illusion of
guess.
Control, not true control. Remember that for later. All this to say, Susie's independence is in
Alright,
stark
I don't
contrast
even
to
need a
Ralsei's
Fletcher
eager-to-please
anymore.
pushover personality.
Okay.
And by the end of Chapter 1, it's clear that Chris cares deeply about Susie, as they defend her from Spade King on their own. And when Toriel calls at the end of Chapter 1, they describe her as a friend, perhaps even their first true friend in years. By the start of Chapter 2, it's clear she's come to value them just as much, as she eagerly awaits their next visit to the Dark World and practically
I think I
drags
got
them
really
along the
lucky.
ride. There's a fear that they won't be friends anymore if the Dark World turns out to have been a dream, something I think is crucial for motivating Chris in the normal route setting, but in general shows how much Susie cherishes their adventures together. Something that Chapter 2 communicates is mutual between her viewing Chris higher than the other party members, the way they describe Susie positively no matter what you choose in the intro, plus the fact that selecting Susie's name for the festival question is the only one that elicits a natural response. Anything else causes confusion. And as long as Susie is in the party, you are on the safe, normal path. Sure, you can beat enemies into submission and scare them away, but that's it. In fact, Susie's brashness once again shows up in full force, specifically during the DJ battle, where she's the one who chooses to act separately from Chris's orders, and even forces Ralsei to do the same. She's also the one who takes initiative in helping Chris with the arcade controls. She's the only one who pushes Birdley to admit his own faults in the normal route. She's got a strong personality and is always looking out for her friends. She may be more open to cooperation now, but that doesn't mean she'll do everything she's told. And sadly, her own proactiveness enables the more malicious path, even
Alright,
if it
let's
takes a
get
little
rid of one
time.
of the librarians for Fletcher.
Everything proceeds exactly the same
There
until
it
you
is.
reach the city. Until Susie leaves the party. Until Chris is alone. Until Chris meets Noelle. Proceed, Angel. Noelle is not like Susie. A sweet girl, but she's also notably more timid. Please, she's impressionable, which works to our benefit. Noelle's ice magic freezes them, so they cannot flee. Susie and Ralsei are not there to witness this and intervene.
I think.
Through Chris, we
This
force
one's
Noelle to
the
undergo
actual
a negative
house.
character arc, all for the
Is it
purpose
possible
of
these
getting
are actually
stronger.
two separate
And no,
villages
it is not
connected
Chris
into
doing
one?
this. When Chris is downed, Noelle still hears the voice, our voice. And in her hospital monologue, she notes how Chris doesn't sound like himself. Every abusive choice we make is ours and ours alone, as we can easily abort the route at any time and things will return to normalcy. But in the end, Chris is powerless to stop us from derailing the story and traumatizing Noelle, and quite possibly themselves. What was once a single puppet has now become two. And what's worse, Spamton, a fellow puppet, enables them by keeping track of the kills and offering his commemorative ring. Everything gets progressively worse as the city fills with frozen corpses and Birdley
There's actually a
meets his
few
end.
villagers that aren't nitwits.
Until Noelle leaves the party. Until Chris reunites with their friends. But by then, it's too late, isn't it? After
There you go. Eleanor, you are
outside
now
the
a...
mansion, Susie
You
notices
are now a
something is
thing.
off with Chris. She shows genuine concern, even if
Yes,
Chris won't
please, I
specify
need
what happened.
arrows.
When she and Ralsei return to the party, the
I
killing
have a
stops.
stack now.
Enemies flee
Lovely.
again, or you can simply recruit them. It's almost as everything is back to normal. Except it's not. Spamton has overtaken the mansion, the very man who sold the commemorative ring and who encouraged this path to begin with. Half the place has been blocked
Here's
off.
some
Will's car has already
steaks.
turned to stone. Safe points no longer give encouraging words about being filled with a certain power. It's just silence.
Just a
Even
little
if you
bit
do
more.
recruit, the path is set. You can only proceed toward the inevitable fight with Spamton. Chris refuses to let us see what Susie and Noelle are up to. Perhaps they're too shaken by what happened. Perhaps they want to keep us from seeing Noelle after what we did to her. Or perhaps it's our own will dominating over there, so strongly planted in place, there isn't even an illusion of choice. We just want to keep going. We just
Keep
want to
going until
skip
he runs out of
left.
emerald to trade the
Ultimately,
sticks.
Chris ends up alone again, finding Spamton without the aid of their friends. And it is at the end of this fight that we get some
What is
raw
this?
insight
A
on Chris's
decree.
feelings
Bring
of
this to the
vulnerability.
bounty board.
Chris calls for their friends, but we whisper for Noelle. And then, it's almost as if everything is normal.
Oh,
Except Bertie is
farming.
not awake. Except Noelle is terrified
I
to
see,
see
so
Chris
that's
again.
why I was
And yet,
getting lots of...
outside the hospital, there's almost a sense of normalcy. The story proceeds the same as it is in the normal route. Only the blue bead has broken off the path. A cry for help. This brings us back to Chris's home. Slashed tires, the sleepover, the fountain. You may ask, why would Chris, after everything they endured here, open another dark world and put others at risk?
Alright then, I don't need
Well,
to
consider
make...
the
Well, I
following.
should still
If
make
they
it.
open a dark fountain, they
Arguably.
guarantee you the next dark world adventure is on their own terms. Susie and Toriel are there with them, the two people closest to them. Toriel is their mother and an adult, less inclined to be persuaded like meek little Noelle, and Susie is Susie, brash, bullheaded, and if she's there, she can keep Chris in check. Susie won't be inclined to leave Chris alone if a fountain opened up in their home, and Toriel is, well, Toriel, a very protective mother. And the cops? That's another easy answer. In addition to existing concerns about more people falling into dark worlds, she's a cop. If Chris does anything dangerous or forces others to succeed, that's one more potential obstacle. In fact, if Chris gets arrested in the aftermath, that would completely thwart our abilities to influence other characters, even if that means they aren't free to steal the fountains either. If they prove to Undyne that dark worlds are real, maybe the word will spread in earnest. I'm sure there are a lot of reasons might pull such a gambit.
There's a drop with a trident!
Convoluted
Oh!
narrative to distract from the Chris versus player struggle in the narrative. There's a lot to consider, especially in Deltarune's incomplete state, and especially when we still don't know the full story behind our presence here, what the Red Soul means and how Chris got in this predicament. But we do know quite a bit about the Red Soul and Undertale that sadly gets overlooked. I recently put out a video on the topic that sadly hasn't been performing so well after its initial launch. I'll put a link in the cards as well as the end screen and description, but please do check it out if you can. It means a lot to me, as a lot of work went into it, and it's really been sad to see it peter out. If you have any thoughts on Chris's motivations in either route, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. As always, a thank you to my lovely patrons whose names you see right here. If you want to support what I do and get cool bonuses like early access to scripts, works in progress, and tons of content for my other projects, you can find a link in the description. And don't forget to check out my Undertale webcomic Inverted Fate for a multimedia project that gives a ton of love to the entire cast and world of Undertale. Thanks so much for watching and have a fantastic day.
Oh, there she is. Oof. How do I deal with that? Tridents are really, really dangerous. I can't do anything to her. I can't fire arrows on her, since she's underwater. I've been taking advantage of that fact to deal with skeletons. I suppose I should just Wait for her to disappear. Right, I wanted to make the emerald armor, so... Oh shit! I'm so sorry! What are you? Oh my god! I got a pearl. The Trident Lady still after me? Oh my god. Oh, but this is actually perfect. Oh yeah. Yo, it dropped she dropped gold. Having some projectiles is really nice. I'll prioritize power over infinity for now. Let's try getting an entire stack of emeralds, shall we? And considering it's so lucrative, I will still set up the skelly farm. It won't be anything too fancy. I mean, I still don't have access to redstone after all. I could snag some stalactites and try taking advantage of fall damage, but I don't really care. Ultimately, it's not really a big deal to just swipe away and stuff. Maybe I should have bought some paper as well. Where's the Fletcher? Why? More arrows for logs. Emeralds for logs. Ooh, I can get iron stuff. Ooh, so a use for poisonous potatoes. Ah, there you are. It is that hour of the day. Ooh. Thank you, kind sir. farms. I love capitalism. Yeah, I'll be right back with some paper. Those are supposed to be for books, but right now this isn't too bad either. I have no use for these bows. The heck's that? And it's gone. Okay. Maybe I was imagining things? I could have sworn I saw some weirdo flopping around on the waters. Not again, some more coal. Let me go mine these real quick. It's not like I'm in any rush. Zombie grounds. Drive murmurs. Oh shit. I'll go get sugar. Just for the sake of unlocking the recipes. Damn pillagers. Whoa, 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 look and go. now, huh? Oh, beetroot for flame. I'm practically stealing with that kind of number. Where the heck's the Fletcher? Are you ready for more sticks? I thank you. Ooh, string. Hell yeah. Let's see what these are made of. +4. Now they're a bit weaker, but they do have armor toughness. I'm still not really sure how armor toughness works, but let's see how they work. Hell yeah, since green is my favorite color and technically Monica's as well. You seem friendly enough. Hopefully. I'll leave you be. Oh, sure, I can't leave Horsey behind. I just realized the horse armor shows up. It's nice. Well, I'm not going to the Nether yet, but not by a long shot. But it's nice to have ahead of time, I suppose. Oh no, that's showing my armor toughness. Interesting. Yeah, may as well go to sleep first. Ooh, it's full. Let's try it out, why don't we? Very nice. Hey, an egg sack. Yeah, I think it's best if we keep them there. Organizing is very hard. Right, Skelly Farm is next, but I still don't know how I'm going to go about this. The pickup mechanism is the most important part that I don't know how to do. I should also probably block this place off so that I can't be disturbed. Just place a simple door and make sure to light up the entire interior. I'm afraid these guys will gang up on me like piglins do. I'm still not too confident I'll be able to take on any of the foes available right now, even with what we have so far. I hope no one can climb this. There is still defense in the end, I suppose. Yeah, I want easy access from the exterior. Hell yeah. What the heck? What the heck? I don't need the stone spoon anymore. The heck, that looks different. Was it always like that? How do you fuck that up? By being me. That's thanks to the beacon. What's up with this path block? I may as well also make this my safe mine. Hmm. Oh, if I have the place lit up like this, won't won't this not spawn anything? Hmm. Maybe I will go get some stalactites. Hold on, I gotta pee. One spawn. And another. Alright, I need water. I don't need to go back to the base. Bede baba. Ah. Ah, they can hit me. too much water. 7.8 out of 10. Only one direction is necessary anyhow. I just need to decide. There you go. Maybe they won't spawn because of the water? If so, then that's a problem.
divisive character in Deltarune. Those who love him adore the little bluebird, whether it's for his humorous, nerdy quips, over-the-top antics, or relatability. Those who despise him find him grating, annoying, and some would even go as far as to call him creepy or an incel. The harsher criticisms seem to stem from reading into things that aren't there, personal projection, and a lot of bad faith. So today I'd like to take a step back and analyze Berdly's character based on the game itself and show some appreciation for this gamer dork. When we first meet Berdly in Chapter 1, he comes across as a snooty and pretentious student. He berates Chris for their academic performance, poor punctuality, and gets noticeably upset when Noelle suggests that Chris joins their group project. While Noelle tries reassuring her father that he's not that bad, thus far we've only seen Berdly at his most grating. He's very proud of his academic performance and looks down on Chris, seeing them as the lesser student and making it known at every chance he gets. And for the past few years, that was all we had to go off of. Nerdy, pretentious, with a chip on his shoulder, who is mean to our main characters. Given that this initial impression has had so much time to ruminate, it's easy to see why people came into Chapter 2 with a pre-existing negative perception. So, what does Chapter 2 bring to the table? Once again, we see Berdly's pretentiousness on full display. When Noelle volunteers to read, Berdly cuts her off, leaping onto the table and diving right in to spare her the humiliation. Right away, this shows that Berdly assumes a lot about Noelle without letting her speak for herself, albeit with a desire to protect her. It also shows an eagerness to perform well in school and impress his peers. This will be important later. This pattern continues when we see Berdly within the Cycle world. He arrives with a dramatic flourish, embellishing his intelligence and sharing his desire to create a world for the intellectual. He speaks down on those he dreams protozoans, but ironically shows a lack of critical thinking by taking everything Queen says at face value, even when Ralsei points out the likelihood of her manipulating him. It's the first of many cracks in his smart kid exterior. But additionally, we see a slightly softer side in how Berdly treats Chris, admitting that he saw potential in them and even inviting them to join his side. Whereas before, Berdly treated Chris rather cruelly, we see that he might actually care about them more than he lets on. Even then, any sincerity to it remains masked with a familiar snobbery. He assumes Chris is jealous of them, desperate to get to the same academic heights as himself and Noelle, and constantly puts down their friendship with Susie. He assumes that Chris wants to use Susie's brawn to take him down. It's a very self-serving interpretation of events, showcasing Berdly's desire to feel important. Even then, when he offers again and again throughout the fight for Chris to join his side, it suggests that he sincerely means it. How strongly he seems to value academic excellence, it's fascinating that he's willing to put that aside and invite Chris to join his cause when they're only the third best student. I think a big part of this is the lack of social pressure here. Removed from his classmates, barring Chris and Susie, and removed from the library guests, he has fewer eyes on him. He can take a bigger risk by inviting Chris to his side. This, too, will be important later. When we next see Berdly, it's after a brief encounter with both Noelle and Queen. While Noelle seeks to avoid
I think the skeletons can't spawn because of the water.
To the point where she hides in an alley the moment she hears his voice. This stands in stark contrast to Berdly himself, who actively seeks Queen out, heaping her with praise. This shows once again Berdly's eagerness to impress. He holds Queen in high regard, thus seeks her approval and her company. The sad thing is, this relationship is not reciprocal. Queen hides from Berdly at every chance she gets. When Chris asks about Queen and Noelle, Berdly immediately gets on the defensive, making excuses about them waiting for him to play retro games. And if you look at his talks right after, it seems that even he knows it's an excuse, and sheds an insecure light on this little bluebird. It might also explain his eagerness to form a truce with Chris shortly after. He wants to have friends. He wants to feel important. He may act like it's a temporary thing, but it's very likely that he's starting to feel the loneliness setting in amidst the bright and fantastical world. But here, in this scene, we also see that Berdly isn't that right. Before, he brushed off Queen's manipulation, but here he outright believes her when she says that she's just passing cars. He doesn't question it at all. Of course, it's entirely possible that he believes it because doing so would hurt less than admitting Queen is avoiding him. By going with the idea that it's just nearby city racket, that means Queen isn't tucked away in the alley, lying to him within earshot. And so he trots off, adamant that Queen is just as eager to spend time with him, when that's clearly not the case. Time and time again, she complains to Chris about Berdly, and time again, Berdly tries to wow her, whether it's with his statue dedicated to their friendship or making her a gamer's delight. Between this and his boasting about saving and defending Noelle, You see more signs that this initial ego masks a deeply insecure teenager with poor social skills. His insecurities expand beyond his craving for friends and importance, but even to his body image, as seen by the way he fantasizes about having nipples. When you give him a gift, he's genuinely surprised, and more importantly, happy, which suggests that small gestures like this mean a lot to him, and are commonplace. He even stays with the party for that room, even if it means spending time around Susie. A surprising twist for someone so prone to berating her. There's even further evidence of this, namely in the way he frames his relationship to Noelle. Initially, one might think he's selfish for his claims that Noelle needs protection, and that she's nursing feelings for him. In a way, that is a selfish mindset, but it is one that also likely stems from an innate desire to be important to at least one person. Perhaps apart from things, there's an ulterior motive at play. Of course Noelle is nice to him, because she has a crush on him. It's not like people would be nice to him otherwise. His heart's in the right place, even if he goes about it in all the wrong ways. In neutral and pacifist playthroughs, he keeps talking for Noelle instead of letting her speak. In contrast, Berkeley shows a genuine concern for her in the Snowgrave route, picking up on Noelle's unusual behavior right away, the way Chris is pushing her forward, and standing up for Noelle without any of his usual gloating. This shows that his attachment to Noelle is more than for the sake of ego, and that Berkeley really does want friends and a sense of belonging. His fight brings another example with the Werewires, whom he boasts are his friends. They're easily dispatched, however, and when asked why he doesn't summon more, he gets awkward and anxious, boasting that they'll probably come back to him. And they never do. But if you want one of the most blatant examples of Berkeley's insecurities on full display, look no further than the mouse puzzle. When Chris solves the puzzle, he orders them to tell their friends that he solved it instead, brushing it all off as a big deal. The idea that the third best student could solve a puzzle like this might, in Berkeley's eyes, threaten his own status and intelligence, and without that, what even is Berkeley?
It's very slow.
Berkeley is at his most vulnerable.
But hey, it's something.
Gone are all pretenses of Queen working with him. He's been cast aside and imprisoned just like Chris and Susie. Noelle is in Queen's clutches. From the get-go, he reacts nervously, fearing that Chris and Susie will leave him behind. There's more boasting about Noelle being his damsel in distress, but I genuinely believe this is at least partially a front to mask his fears of abandonment. He cares about Noelle as well, but at this point he's come to realize that Queen never truly valued him the same way he valued her. What's more, in the puzzle rooms, Berkeley doubles down on his boastful bravado, claiming that the solutions to the puzzles are easy and that he has it in the bag without ever taking initiative. When called out on it, he stammers and struggles, once again shows discomfort when Chris completes the puzzle for him. He makes excuses, trial and error, the caveman method, and begs for Chris to talk about the puzzle he solved earlier. He even offers to do a puzzle alone with Chris. Chris's validation seems to matter a lot, and it does fit with their earlier interactions, along with the fact that they've apparently gamed together in the past. But with Susie's idea working, it's the ultimate insult to his smart kid persona. The facade finally cracks, and Berkeley admits to his lack of intelligence. He reveals the truth about his genius status. Namely, he's only seen as the smart kid because Noelle struggled in his spelling bee, and adults put him on a pedestal. I think this greatly recontextualizes Berkeley's earlier behaviors. Being a gifted child comes with certain expectations. Success in school being chief among them. Prior to the spelling bee, Berkeley was a forgettable kid. Even in the present, that still lingers with characters like Rudy and Queen butchering his name. Oftentimes that intelligence leads to gifted kids being outcasts. They might be seen as unapproachable. In Noelle's case, she maintains a sweet, friendly personality and generally gets along with everyone. But she also has a loving family and many friends. Conversely, Berkeley only has Noelle. She's helped him every step of the way, allowing him to maintain his status as #1 student. But that pedestal has come to define Berkeley. He has to succeed. He has to be the best. He can't lower himself to the level of idiots and slackers. He can't appear too down or too weak. Everyone expects greatness from him. Over time, this likely caused Berkeley's pretentious mask to form. Despite his desire for friends and validation, pushed people away. He's not a bad kid. In fact, I'd argue he's one of the more relatable characters in Deltarune, despite his ego and occasionally weird comments. He's not malicious, he just has poor social skills. In fact, by dropping the ego, he's finally able to connect with Susie over a shared love of the Dragon Blazer series. Granted, this leads to an incredibly awkward crush on his part, but it also shows that once he stops acting so egotistical, he can form connections he desperately craves. From this point on, he shows genuine compassion for the party, and an eagerness to cooperate in order to save Noelle and stop Queen. He no longer craves the leading role. Chris will distract Queen. Susie will help rescue Noelle. In just a few short moments, it's clear that he's already learning and growing. Though Queen takes control of him soon after, at the end of their battle, he once again. In the violent neutral path, he even forcibly removes the cable at the risk of injuring himself, while in pacifist he openly praises the effort of his friends, even
What
admits to
the
his own
heck is
bravado,
wrong
and
with
not
this guy?
That's not eats as he rallies the darkness of cycling he expects to graduate, allowing the game to take on musically in one final acting battle. Even after everything is said and done, he's still willing to give Chris and Susie a chance in the light world, bringing his experiences in the dream with him into the future. Unless you were made and frozen to death anyway. Unfortunately, despite all the effort Toby put into Birdley's character and his arc, a lot of people have a very shallow read on this bird. And these nerdy gamer guys that know it start projecting a lot of negative stereotypes onto him, as I alluded to earlier in the video. People have gone out of their way to claim things like, Birdley is an incel and uses women. Birdley would be homophobic or transphobic. Birdley is so annoying he deserves to die. It's one thing to dislike a character, and I can see plenty of reasons why people wouldn't care for him, particularly with his crushing on Susie. But a lot of these complaints are either unfounded or hyperbolic. Case in point, Birdley has no qualms with girl gamers. That already sets him apart from your stereotypical toxic gamer guy. He also respects Chris's pronouns a lot better than a majority of the fandom. And I know by saying that a lot of people are probably going to be mad, but hey, he also assumes Chris has a crush on him at one point and gently lets them down. He doesn't protest, regardless of Chris's gender identity. Really, I'd say his greatest crimes, if you can call them that, are being socially awkward, a bit high and mighty, and acting as though Susie is going to fall into his arms like a visual novel character. And even then, his advances are played for laughs, and while he puckers up, he never forces the kiss on her beyond trying to hint that he wants it. And he's a weird, awkward teenager. Sometimes teens behave in ways that are stupid and careless. That hardly makes him the devil. But ultimately, I hope this analysis has helped you understand Birdley on a greater level. If you have any thoughts on Bluebird, feel free to leave a comment below. A like would also be a big help in the ever-menacing YouTube algorithm. I do have plans to tackle other characters from Delta Reach, Undertale, and other media in the future, as well as uploading more music and content from my Undertale webcomic and Brooded Fate. A huge thank you for Rainy P to providing a lot of the footage throughout the video, to my amazing Patreon supporters. If you'd like to support what I do and get cool perks, feel free to check out the link on screen or in the description. And help a lot, as I'm trying to transition out of dead-end jobs and make content creation more of a full-time thing. At any rate,
hey, I just
see you next
noticed.
time.
What the heck is this? On my inventory. It's not the best, but it works. It's very slow. But hey, it technically works. If I ever need bones safely, but not exactly quickly, then this is my thing. Ooh, interesting. What's inside this backpack? That's gray colored. What the heck? It's an entire loot table inside. Ooh, a quiver. I forgot that's a thing. How do you make those? I think they might be really useful. Sealed quiver. Ah. They show up on chests. You can't craft them. How do I put arrows in this thing? Arrow of combustion? Arrow of harming? I'll learn more about them later. The heck was that put on me just now? The Scoutmen seem to prefer. Never mind, there's some on the left now, too. The output is honestly not that bad. Look at this. The only real problem with it is the fact that it's manual. That's really about it in terms of flaws. But overall, I like this.
What's going on, Minecraft fans? My name's Luke the Notable. Welcome to 100 Days of Minecraft Pocket Edition. In this video, I'll be playing 100 Days of Minecraft on my phone. Yeah, my phone. Why? Because this is the best way to play Minecraft, obviously. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. To tell you the truth, people have suggested this. They want to see me suffer. Minecraft on a phone can be quite tough. Gotta say, though, I know people who play Minecraft on a tablet or phone exclusively, and they're pretty good at it, so maybe I will be too after these 100 days. But I gotta say, at this point, I was terrible with the controls. My fat, dead fingers could hardly do anything. Oh, look at that. It's the Blood Moon. Funny, I don't remember installing any mods. My Steve wasn't much by the end of day one. How slow I am with these controls. I'm proud. I mind at night. For the sake of efficiency, I know the ancient hymns are against this. I really have no confidence in myself. I'm just gonna stay around here for a bit before I go exploring more. I fought a single drown today. It was pretty much the hardest fight I've ever done in Minecraft. I was very hopeful I could get a trident drop here. They're more common.
It seems standing here means they won't be able to shoot me at all.
How, but it's already Blood Moon time. Better get back in the mine. I had some lag problems in the mine, and these problems do happen a lot at first. Just give me a break. I'm literally on a phone. I'm also not great with the timing of these days, especially at first. Here it's already nighttime on day 3. There's something up. As lovely as my compound is, I'm gonna have to find a village. There's no way I'm gonna get anything done without helpless villagers. Morning of day 4, wandering trader showed up. That was a big mistake. I'm not a fan of living in the snow, so I set out for better land today. Who designed the boat controls?
I'm farming until I get a stack of bones. I'm gonna stop at. That's gonna be my stopping point, I decided.
Somehow I made it to a village alive. Tomorrow I start the theft. Give me the beats. things are getting me, farmer. Meats always taste better when you know they were going to feed someone's family. It was a busy day of fillings in this snowy town, and right as I thought I was finished, I was attacked by the polar bear of justice. I was forced to run, and I could hardly even do that right, just get the door easily. The worst part about the suburbs is all the whites. Slowly took out the polar bear, I was fine, but that definitely gave me a scare. There's no hardcore mode in Pocket Edition, so if I die,
I keep getting quivers of tipped arrows.
Pocket Edition, so my chance of death is fairly high. Not gonna die tonight though, and even got myself
That's
some
pretty
stolen
cool,
iron
useful
armor.
even,
So I'm back on the road
considering
again, looking for more
the
land.
difficulty of the new
Really,
mobs.
I was
Now
just
that I have
looking for anything
arrows,
out in the snow, but
I
found
can
this
take
nice
advantage
town
of.
in Oak Forest. That'll work. The terrain is very dangerous with a massive hole in the center of town, but I'll take that over polar bears any day. I've got to find some place to call home soon, though. My inventory is getting stuffed full of stolen goods. You'd say this town was very dangerous. That hole in the center is a massive cave system. Some of the town spawned down here. I really have no idea what to do with it. And yeah, after getting harassed by zombies all day, I think I'm gonna give up on this town. Hit the ocean. It was laggy. I don't know why. My phone's pretty nice. Lagged my way over to
There is a more automatic version of this you can do with stalactites and fall damage by placing down trapdoors and stuff.
This is still technically day 7, but we're gonna call it day 8 because that's what the file says. Remember,
But I think ultimately you still... Yeah, maybe I'll make an AFK version of this one day.
Can't type a mean comment without asking their mom. If it took me all day to build a cobblestone shack with a mouse and keyboard, I'd be very embarrassed, but on Pocket, that's just standard. I want you all to know that I'm not getting used to it at all, and my phone is starting to get hot, my hands hurt, but hey, at least I'm not homeless anymore, look at that. So I'm really not sure what happened day 9. Pretty much the entirety of the footage is just me chilling in the house, and that's it. I think I just messed up the recording and was waiting until morning, which it is now. Hooray. Alright, now I can finally
I don't
sort
really
of
care
explore
about
the
power
land. I
too.
really hope there's something good out here. A lot of death traps. I'm positive I'll fall in that hole. Yeah, I really didn't find anything after searching all day, mostly because I'm so slow. Zombies started bashing in my door at night. That's what I get for playing on hard mode. He was on my lane and committing a crime. I had every right to take him down. I have no trust in my ability to fight, but I have every trust in a wall, so I built one tonight. Feeling a little more safe, I built a mine. I don't know if you know this, but you have to mine in Minecraft. So I mined through the night, even though my phone's processor was burning my palms. Good morning, it's day 11, and I'm still not even really sure what I'm doing here. I made a bridge, I'm not sure where it goes yet, but sometimes those are the best bridges. You know, tours would really like this meadow, and there's not enough profits here for me, though. I didn't go very far, I don't
What
want to
the
get
heck
lost, I
is
have no idea how to turn
the
on
official
coordinates.
YouTube
Maybe
channel
we'll
for
keep on,
YouTube
though,
comments?
I didn't show you where I'm sleeping. This is
Ah,
where
they had
it feels a lot like
4.65
college.
million
So after another day of
subs.
exploring, I stumbled upon that
They
town
seem
I
pretty
found a few
popular,
days ago.
but
I
this is
guess
the
it's
first
been
video I've ever watched of this guy.
Great way to start a relationship. Took a better look at it today. It needs a lot of labor, and these lazy villagers don't help at all. But I'll owe them and their children in return.
My
so
goodness, it
deal
happens
maker, I
all the
conquer
time.
Surprisingly easy. They practically begged me to take it. Instead of trying to integrate the bottom and top sections of the town, I'm just gonna leave them. It's too much work. Doable with a mouse or controller. Maybe if I had any skill with this, but I'm still just really bad. I did make a little staircase down there just to get the villagers out, but I kind of regret it. It's a huge safety risk. Well, I guess that's what they get for living in Ohio.
Call me a
Works
cheater,
continued day 14 until a witch
but
poisoned
I
me.
want to listen to this
Time to heal
song,
up and went to go handle her, but I'm really
or else
bad
I'm
at
gonna go
combat.
mad.
I only have a stone sword. Then she absolutely dunked on me with a potion of harming, and I had to run away again. And I decided to run away from all of Ohio today. I suggest that for all of its residents. I still made myself busy chopping trees in the forest to sell to the Fletcher. And when I came back, I brought walls. You know what's happening next. With the wall, I'll feel a lot better about living here, and the villagers won't escape, which they do pretty often. I walled off this side first. It's right next to a dense forest, and monsters just love spawning there. Then I chopped down the forest,
Lovely.
anything to thin the population of the indigenous. Safety was a great motivation, but I could also turn this wood into money, so I kept chopping. Day 16, I needed more cobblestone for the wall, and took this as an opportunity to look at
This
the
song
cave. It's
sucks,
big.
actually.
I promise I'll go down there eventually, but I need to get more wood.
Just wait
My
when it
controls.
gets to
You
the
know, this
drop.
wall ain't gonna build itself. You already know the villagers ain't building it.
It'll sound amazing, I swear.
Today, but I really won't feel comfortable until it's all done. It's really not a big wall. It shouldn't have taken me this long. I must just have arthritis. It's not done, but it's already starting to feel a lot more like home. I even set myself aside a little shack for sleeping. While I'm fixing, I'm also profiting, and they're starting to come in nicely, but it is slow. I don't trust myself at all mining for resources. These villagers are going to be a crutch for me. Rather than money making, I'm also working out what to do here. I really don't have an idea. It's going to look bad in the end. I'm just warning you. Well, even without the wall, the tree line is safely receding like my hairline. The wall is eating up all my cobblestone, so I'm going to try to make a generator today. It's gonna go fine. Preliminary tests seem to show everything was running normal. Alright, let's mine up some cobblestone. To make things
Oh,
worse, I
yeah.
don't have a diamond pick, so I'm going to have to live with my failure, so I went back home. I formally, peasant mining was a good idea. I'm still rocking stone tools, gross. In the deep slate day
Nice.
19, I'm not sure what that means. This is my job, and I'm still a noob. Mining that stuff is pretty slow with stone tools, so I'm gonna give up. I have enough cobble to make some good walls. So my wall, it's my favorite thing to do in this game, besides subjugation. For the 5-year-old, subjugation is what your mom does to your dad. Good progress on the wall, but I still have no idea what to do with the pit. It's been 20 days now. I'm getting a little more used to building. It's the placing of it. You know, it's coming along. That's why I waited to leave the ugly bits last. This would have been hard even with a mouse. So I really doubt there's any way you could make this all look good. I did my best. I have reached the point of not caring anymore, and I just want this wall project to be done. Using andesite walls now, I know for a fact that dog was judging me. Alright, it's ugly, but so is capitalism. Whatever. Even though I respawn when I die, I feel a lot easier knowing that there's walls. I don't want to die. Who does? The villagers escaped before I finished, and I think they're still in exile. Now that I can finally call this place home and renovate this villager shack to be a little more usable. All I did was dig out a basement. I'm gonna use this for a storage room. Before going to bed that night, I taunted some zombies who wanted to live in the great state of Ohio. Went over to the cobblestone shack.
Another one.
To grab all my items. I myself becoming a permanent
A
resident of Ohio.
jukebox upgrade?
I got myself a new mine. You know, that was about it. Some days in Minecraft are like that. I kept on mining day 23. The stone tools in my inventory are mocking me.
I guess all I had to do was wait. I would have gotten a jukebox.
Anyway, got some iron, some more coal, but like the voices in my head said, I wouldn't get diamonds. By the way, day 24, poked into a cave and was feeling kind of brave. Feeling a little better with the controls. I felt like I could handle a little spelunking. Yeah, I might die. I come back. No diamonds, but I got some slimes. Maybe I can struggle my way to a redstone contraption. Sold the bounties to the good people of Ohio. Day 25. And the iron, I don't really need it. The Fletcher's where I get most of my cash flow. Selling in sticks is quite profitable. My next big goal is to get something automatic.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this a bit more automatic once I'm done with this initial farm.
Going back to mining, it's one of the few things I can do with these controls. Thanks to all my
You know,
hard
maybe
work
I should
mining,
just
got my
end it
first
here.
iron
I mean, I've already gotten quite a good
Sticks.
batch of
Fast
loot,
enough,
so
I can go through the deep sleep
yeah, I'm
without
gonna end
being a
it here.
headache, so that's good.
I'll keep that
And
jukebox
dropped
there.
down this
I
cave,
technically
found some
didn't earn it.
diamonds. Now that I know this whole cave is at diamond level, I'm gonna do some exploring. I didn't find anything except depression. I know I just got diamonds, but I really don't want to use them for tools, so I'm gonna get back to project making. Jump to
Lovely,
the tree,
it's morning.
burning my fingers, playing that pocket edition. You know, this video has given me some perspective, but I really feel bad that I play this exclusively. I know you probably have no choice, but just know I feel for you. Oh, and apparently you can't.
Pocket Edition isn't that bad. The controls are nice and intuitive.
So I fixed my flaws today.
Of course,
Enjoy another day
if
of
you give me a
shopping.
choice, I would obviously always play either Java, PC, or I'd always play the PC versions, be it Java or Bedrock. God, no, well, you know what's worse than touch controls? Fucking freaking controller. Playing on a gamepad.
Until the blood moon came out, maybe tomorrow will be interesting. Making more Ohioans, day 30, they love their bread a lot. Naming the town Ohio was sort of a fan suggestion that I've just kind of rolled with now. I'm from Illinois, so I found it. I also like pooping on Indiana and Wisconsin. Iowa, though, you're cool. Then I went back in the line for more slimes, and I rhymed, don't mind. Okay, a little awkward, but I built a redstone contraption, just wasn't recording. Here it is, and, it doesn't work. This used to be a really overpowered way of getting tons and tons of sugarcane, and I was going to exploit it. It doesn't work anymore.
Holy shit, this lady's after me! Oh my god!
Beyond belief, unfortunately, I won't be. Day 32, I spent some time trying to convert this thing into something useful. Couldn't do it because I got my useless redstone degree.
That hurt!
Not today, though. I felt too defeated. I just decommissioned it. Went to bed. To make matters worse, my Fletcher disappeared. This can happen.
That's what I get for trying to engage in melee.
Sometimes they come back, but the best way to ensure they don't leave is by trapping them. Right, Toolsmith? Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, it's a Minotaur. Oh no, it's immune to projectiles
I
now.
saw that marvelous redstone machine you built. You're so intelligent. You are. I was wondering, when can I see my family? Go to bed. Talk about it next year. Fletcher's gone, but hey, a convenient baby just showed up.
Alright, I'm using this cheese strategy I used on your ass last time.
And here's the best part. It doesn't work. I'd like to say I'm fairly decent in Minecraft.
Oh, shit.
I have no idea why I'm the
You're smart.
part of this video, but I am. That's it. I'm done with business. because it's cage time and I don't even
Except
care.
no,
if I
you
die.
aren't.
You know, if it's for combat, zombies and stuff.
Also, how did you spawn on the surface? I thought you
But you gotta know, diamond
spawned
armor
exclusively on...
better. Material possessions are the only way to happiness. No diamonds, but a lot of iron, which eventually I can sell for diamonds, so there's that. Though I was determined, and on day 36 I found myself some more diamonds. I'm surprised my phone can run these caves. Somehow it was lagging earlier on the open ocean. Either way, the caves are quite nice, even if they are infested with skeletons that I can't quite efficiently take down. No other diamonds, but at this point I've got all the ones I need. I can buy the rest. Speaking of buying diamonds, I now have a diamond axe. Just wasn't reporting for me buying it. This day's only 3 minutes in true Pocket Edition fashion. I tried to play in the wild sometimes, and this is one of those days. I remember specifically I was at Little Caesars waiting for my pizza, and, you know, pretty fast, so it wasn't too long. Back to finding diamonds day 38, a lot of them. I don't even really need them at this point. I'm really close to getting a diamond pick. Hey, there's more. Cave mining is the way. Maybe I'm strip mining wrong, but it seems like the new caves update, cave mining, it's the way to go. I wish the shield worked differently. You have to crouch to use it. Just slowly walk towards skeletons. It's annoying. Oh yeah, that's a lot of diamonds. Haters will say I put them there in creative, but I don't even know how to do that. Joke's on you. With all that loot, I went back up to the surface and bought myself my first diamond pickaxe. The enchants are pretty bad, but I can fix that. Hey, I bought it with sticks. Did a lot of smelting today from my long mining trip and ran out of coal. I got some more. Now I'm setting my sights on some diamond armor. I'm sick of running around in iron. So, it's back to chopping. I know we've seen a lot of it in this 100 days so far. It's just the fastest method I have, especially
Ooh,
with my
they dropped one of their
hatchets. I
hatchets.
tried to cheese the game and make it automatic farm, but apparently it wants me to do hard labor, so here I am. Another day of chopping trees down the necks. It's a breeze. Rain in my pocket in a way that I'm stopping. And I'm always out of luck. Soon I'll have some diamond armor LTN on the track, so hit that like button. Listen, day 41 was just more tree chopping. Day 42 was just obsidian mining. I had to do something to make it interesting.
Platinum
Going to the nether soon, though. That's what the obsidian's for. That'd be cool. You know, I guess it'd be hot. It's hell. Made myself another portal. Day 43 was an absolute struggle with these population controls. There's worse nether spawns. At least I'm not in a crimson forest with tons of pigs. I hate those things. Mostly came down here for some quartz. I need them to make observers, and maybe I can make an automatic farm for some good money. Mining in the nether on pocket is quite a hazard. You gotta remember that my hands block most of the screen. Survive today, though. Maybe I'll actually be able to beat the game. Got my first bit of diamond gear, some boots. Feather falling 2. That's nice. No, not feather falling 2. I mean feather falling 1. Feather falling as well. Why is it every time that I make something, I forget to record?
Never mind.
Here's my
They're minding their own business. They're taking the hike right now. It's a family trip. I shouldn't ruin it.
All of today's footage is just me breaking it several
Build
times.
it.
After messing with
For
the
now.
farm some more, day 46, I decided to beautify the town. And yes, cobblestone is beautiful. I just added steps where there needed to be steps. I can't afford another lawsuit. There were a few weird areas that aren't as weird now. Still a little weird, but I'm kind of lazy and don't want to fix them completely. You're welcome, villagers. You'll pay for this in blood. Yeah, more landscaping. Day 47, trimmed some dirt, added more stairs, that sort of thing. Eventually, I'd like to get rid of
Nice,
all the
don't
birthday
ask, I
candles on the
agree.
ground, but you know, for safety, they're gonna stay for now. If there was another zombie outbreak, I think it'd be okay. Most of my important villagers are working from home. Started out an enchanting room, day 48. Soon I'll have diamond armor, at least the ability to buy some, and I want it to be good. That is what all these cows are for. I need them for their skin. Hey, wait, is that a big sheep? Yeah, they're just like any other sheep. It's very rare for one to spawn in the wild. Kind of notable. Welcome to your new Frizz Onion home. Mining away, day 49. I don't think I'm going to be able to buy a full set of diamond armor, but most of it, yeah, these deep caves are very plentiful for diamonds. If I keep this up, I won't have to buy any. Oh no, a baby zombie with armor. How embarrassing it would be to die by that. Hey, more diamonds. What up? No, creeper. Yes, mining on camera. So exciting. I don't understand why YouTubers don't do this more often. I'm working on a couple different objectives right now, trying to find a stronghold, diamond armor, and I swear by the end of this video I'll get all of them done. But you remember how I said mining in the nether can be sort of hazardous on Pocket Edition? No, I was tunneling, making good progress, but remember, I'm on a phone, so my hand was in the way. I couldn't see the floor, and this happened. I knew I was dead and went through the 5 things to breathe the moment I hit the lava. I knew I would probably die in this video. Didn't really want to go out like that. At least it's not hardcore, so I don't have to start over, but the villagers saw me respawn. That's embarrassing. Alright, I've got 28 potatoes and ambition. Let's see what I can do. Yes, full diamond armor and tools. Better hope I don't fall any lava, though. Thanks to all my cave mining, I had more diamonds than coal, but now I need more coal. And diamonds, but I'll get them. Guess what day today is, cows? It's a big one. It's National Kill Your Parents and Take Their Skin Day, my favorite. I left the children. Killing them is fun, but not profitable. That's about it. Put some more birthday candles down. I have a problem. A bunch of villagers decided to stop existing today. Awesome! I can handle the burning fingers and awful frame rate, but when the villagers despawn, it makes me want to quit. You know I won't quit. I get paid by the 100, and I do this for money. Oh wow, what riveting gameplay. It is Luke the Notable, chopping down trees in the forest. I wonder what he'll do next. No loitering, chicken! Oh, let's check the sugarcane farm profits, by the way. 1. Nice. Hey, the people are back. Really questioning why I gave them their freedom. I found a
I'm
nice
recording
meat
for
reference
another
here.
hour.
Might as well check it out. Add some coal in it.
I said I was gonna start doing work starting tomorrow, but which is not starting next week, which is now this week. But god damn it, I got too engrossed in Minecraft again. And also I had to do my Genshin.
Do that. So I spent the day grabbing all I could. Big farm. There's already a large potato farm in town, and I never really use it, so I'm just going to convert the whole thing. And in a few more days, I'll be enchanting. But what I really still need is some form of augmented profit making, and I'm going to start on that today. Just doing
I
some
forgot to
digging
take
today.
away
I
the
want it to be
cat
underground.
disc.
It's definitely
My bad.
gonna be ugly. Got a room cleared out. Can you guess what it's going to be? If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I'm building an auto sheep farm. It's really neat. I can do effectively. It's dirt, but
Where do I put
got
the
a
lead?
slight vision. What's funny is I was incredibly
Oh, I
ambitious
remember
with
I
this
used to
thing.
have
I
2
built the
leads,
collection
but
system
I
long enough
took
that
them
20
on
sheep,
chest,
no way I'm gonna get that many.
on a backpack, and then I died.
It's just too long.
I guess I'll put them in travel
in this little
munitions.
pen, and as I breed them, I'll put them in the barn. What an awesome life. It's taken 100 days to get 20 sheep in there. I don't know why I was so ambitious. The blood moon must have been messing with my judgment. Oh, and then I hunted some endermen, because I'm definitely gonna kill the dragon. Maybe even the wither, so keep watching. Before I get any sheep in, I've got to get the farm working, and that's what I'm doing day 61. You hear that, sheep? You get to have jobs soon. How fun. I was just getting the last few things for the sheep farm ready when my dad called, so this one's over. Listen, I know the sugarcane profits on this farm have been absolutely magnificent, but I need the observers, so it's getting decommissioned. And the villagers are gone again. I'm gonna have to figure out a different system. This is annoying. I don't know where they go. I'm so worried. Alright, busting out the cobblestone. It's breeder time. With my limited experience of Bedrock Minecraft, one thing that's always worked, breeding more than enough villagers, and that's what I'm doing now. It also seems to help to have a specific room where they all live, so they all have their own beds, they all know where their workstation is, no one gets scared and runs away. It doesn't have to look like a prison, but I like mine too. Tell me to stop in the comments. I won't. Oh, I agree, villagers. The atmosphere in this windowless cobblestone room is very romantic. Oh yeah, they really got to it. I'm a love master. And I'm also a master of industry. Got my first sheep in the farm today. And my second sheep. They don't have feelings. Just a game. More villagers, more problems. How did you get in there? It's alright, just don't let it happen again. I spent all day trying to get this shepherd to buy white.
Those things are definitely gonna spawn, which is annoying, but I wanna organize my inventory, damn it.
Lots of villagers is one took his place almost immediately. Oh yes, you're all very replaceable. Back in the Nether, day 66, I thought it was appropriate. The Bedrock Nether spawns are actually wild. Why are there pigs here? Despite what happened to me earlier, I still want to beat the game, which means I have to find a fortress. I'm just going to be extra careful. And after a solid day of tunneling with no lava incidents, I found myself a fortress. I made my own safety staircase all the way up to it. There's a lot of new stuff in there that I'm not sure I can handle on Pocket. Again, I come back if I die, but that doesn't mean I want to die. I'm going to try to avoid it. And the Bedrock spawns just don't care. They'll put 2 blazes right behind you. I got my safety staircase pretty airtight, so even with the blazes and these wither skeletons, I'm fairly safe here. But still, I'm not getting too comfortable. I just came down here for blaze rods and nether wart, but got lucky and got a wither skeleton skull. Now I definitely have to fight Uncle Wilbur. My sugarcane farm's back up and running. Gotta love that 1 sugarcane per week. Tried to make it more efficient today. That was a mistake. Leveled up a new cleric day 69 and now will sell me his balls for 5 emeralds apiece. Then I got more sheep in the farm. You can see I stopped caring about it. Used cobblestone instead of glass. Then I lit up the top of the meter, keeping it dark. Just asking for an incident. I shoveled sand through the night. I'm gonna turn it into glass bottles so I can get more cleric balls. And I don't have to use my coal anymore for smelting. I've got this nice safe lava. And while waiting for the glass to smelt, my unfinished enchanting room was staring me right in the face. Oh yes, the blood moon is out. Perfect night for slaying. Alright guys, have a good night. See you when you grow up. Got my enchanting hole functional and copped fortune 2. That'll help a bunch. Got to mining day 71. The fortune enchantment's very overpowered in the new versions of Minecraft. It's nice though. I don't feel like I have to make a gold or iron farm. If I want gold or iron, I can just mine and it's still pretty effective. Yeah, I don't really need to mine. I don't need diamonds, but I kept mining because, you know, might as well have fortune. Well, I will be fighting the Ender Dragon and Wither by the end of this video, and I Thought it'd be nice to have a backup set of armor if I died. And I stayed down here in the mines, because it's just pretty. I mean, look at that. Even on Pocket Edition. It's nice. There's a mine shaft interconnected with this giant dripstone cave. It makes me want to do 100 days in caves only. Though, to be honest, if I did a caves only 100 days, I guarantee by the end of them I would really hate the caves. Maybe I shouldn't. I think it's possible, for sure. You might have to survive on zombie flesh for a while. I think you could survive 100 days. Anyway, day 75, I finally surfaced and realized that I am lost. Probably should have waited until day 75 to figure out how coordinates work. I have no idea where Ohio is. I don't even know if I'm going in the right direction, but I do have 2 stacks of diamonds. I think I'll be okay. I figure trying to find Ohio at this point would be almost impossible. I have no idea where to even start, so I just went to 0-0. The plan for now is to set up a shelter and maybe try to get back through the nether. I was hopeful that might work. And to look on the bright side, my 0-0 shack marked with the diamond block is kind of cool. Even dirt roof, because most of my inventory is filled with riches. I really don't have plans to stay here for very long, but I gotta make it look nice. I'm in full diamond. I can't be living in that. And I was dealing with the possibility that I might never find Ohio. I might have to call this place home. So I spent today doing some safety stuff, clearing the area, leveling, putting down torches, and the dirt roof stays because it's up to safety code. On my way to 0-0, I did see a pool of lava, so I'm gonna use that to get obsidian for another portal. After getting back, I didn't go straight to the nether. I did take some time to slab the roof. I didn't want it to be dirt, even though it is safe, technically. Alright, portal's lit. Let's hope my plan works. Oh yeah, popped out right by the nether fortress. I know exactly where I am. I'm going home to Ohio. Had to go back to the 0-0 shack for one last night. I had some more that was smelting. Awesome! I made it back to Ohio. Said no one ever. First thing I did was expand my storage. I'm rich now. Haha. Then I did some light enchanting. My true power will be realized soon. If the villagers ever try to Google what happens on day 79, their internet cuts out, and this is why. There were just a few of them that had jobs but wouldn't work, and they got what they deserved. I honestly don't know why I went mining. Day 80, I have more than enough diamonds, iron, and gold. Really didn't need to, but I did. Maybe I did it for the XP, but even I know the XP isn't that great when you're mining. Yeah, because I'm on something else entirely day 80 when I'm trying to get a mending librarian. Got one, so now when I craft good armor, it'll never break. That's nice. To make good armor, I still need a stack of levels, and most of my money-making methods involve hard labor, so that's what I'm doing day 82. I really shouldn't be chopping this far into the video, but here I am. I'm sick of hard labor, though, so I'm gonna try to make my life a little easier. I converted one of the villager huts to a villager infector, like I did in 69 days. It's pretty simple, really. Yeah, and hopefully I should be able to use this to make an infected shepherd and make bank. Oh yeah, worked flawlessly. Started curing my first shepherd tonight. My wool farm doesn't produce that much wool, but each piece of wool is worth an emerald, so that's pretty awesome. So now I have the XP to essentially enchant whatever I want. The dragon's going down. Nothing happened day 86. Absolutely nothing. Stop asking. I was doing anything and everything for XP, even bottles of enchanting, and I never use those. It's not even the dragon I'm really worried about. It's the wither. He's supposed to be awful on Bedrock.
I guess quivers you just shoot arrows out of.
This master farmer because he wouldn't sell me golden carrots, and I need them. Here we go. It's the beginning of the end.
You can't put arrows in them.
I only need 2 skulls.
You also
I have
can't
32
take
on my
them
sword,
out.
So I shouldn't have to be down here that long, but I wanted to make sure I had everything before I
So
started
their
bossing.
only
And I'm just gonna
purpose is
cut
for
to it.
loot.
By the end of day 90, I had both skulls. I'm ready to fight. Back to tunneling day 91, I'm trying to find a cheeky piece of netherite. There's a blackstone fortress, might be one in there. It'd be nice to have a more powerful sword. That's the only reason I'm here. Not because I like the squeals of innocent piglets defending their home. Unfortunately, I didn't find any netherite pieces. I will say there was more to this fortress that I just didn't explore because I didn't want to. Back home, day 92, just grabbing everything for the Ender Dragon fight. It's good to take a solid day for this. Now that I'm ready, it's time to find the end portal, and I better hurry because there isn't much time. Joyously jaunted to a jungle on my journey and jumped with jubilation. There was even a naturally spawning jungle town, which I didn't think was even possible, and the end portal's gonna be right near it. Dug into the fortress and wasn't even worried. I've got full protection, diamond armor, I'll be fine. Took me a while to find the end portal, but when I did, I was glad I bought tons of ender eyes. Needed 12. It's gonna make another portal for some easy access from Ohio. Alright, gonna check that this works. Oh no. It's totally my fault. I know that the bedrock portals aren't always perfect. I was still upset though. It's not that bad at the end of the day. I took the coordinates so I know where I'm going in the nether.
The more
Just a little
backpacks, the
inconvenient. After
better.
that small detour, now it's time to fight the Ender Dragon. I think I'll be okay. It's not my first time anyway. I didn't put a pumpkin on my head because Pocket already doesn't have the best visuals, and that would have just made it worse. I'm so prepared that the part was definitely just trying to shoot all of the crystals. The Pocket Edition bow it's just not good. My armor's fantastic, so I'm very, very bulky, but I'm also very, very clunky, so it made doing a lot of this stuff pretty tough. Even just bashing the crystal was kind of a struggle, and of course, none of it's helped by my burning fingers. It was a long fight. It took me a full day's worth of
Right,
time.
let's
just
shoot
to get
all
the
the
crystals
arrows of
destroyed.
this
Imagine
that one by
fighting a
one
dragon for multiple
in a safe
days.
place.
It's like with my
Arrow of
Minecraft
combustion, I don't
character,
like
dragon
the sound of
before,
that,
you'll
so
know once you get to this point where you're slashing it, it's pretty much over. Just a matter of time. I had no goals and no plans when I started playing Pocket Edition almost 100 days ago, but now, seeing the Ender Dragon die in front of me, I'm feeling quite proud. I feel like I normally get more XP from killing the dragon. And discriminating against us pocket kids, there's really no point to grabbing the dragon egg because it's a useless item. But why can't I stop myself from grabbing it every single time? Now I'm gonna try to get an Elytra, if it's easy. I'm really not gonna try too hard. It's not that I don't want one. I just don't have a lot of time, and I guarantee you I'll crash and die. Sometimes you can get lucky and go through these end gateways and get an easy free Elytra, but this time it didn't look like that was going to happen. Of course, I didn't give up immediately. My phone's render distance could just be messing with me, but it doesn't look like there's any cities nearby. So I just went back to the portal. I can always get an Elytra in 200 days of Pocket Edition if that happens. Would you even want that? Let me know in the comments below. After getting home, I went straight to my storage and geared up for fighting the Wither. This one that I'm a little worried about. Ultimately, if I die, it's not like the whole world is deleted, and a part of me knew that. Wasn't too worried. I didn't go in like an idiot, though. I took the precautions of a normal Wither fight. Tunnel in bedrock. I think that'll work. And the tunnel I dug was way longer than I normally would. I'm on a phone. I kinda gotta make up for it. It's bedrock Wither time! From the moment I started fighting this thing, I could tell it was gonna be a nightmare. This thing hits like an absolute truck. The Java Wither pretty much just out-heal with golden carrots and golden apples, but not this one. If you get hit, you're drinking that milk. The explosions it makes also seem to be way bigger. I've never seen a Java Wither make this big of a hole. I got it down to half health. It was on my last milk bucket and it hit me, so I had to run. As I was hobbling up to the surface, I was really wondering what I was even doing here. Got that count with a lot more milk, and thankfully the Wither didn't heal too much. I think I should be able to handle this. That is until I got him to half health, he exploded, and Wither skeletons popped out. What? I didn't know that was going to happen. I'm sorry, Bedrock boys, I didn't listen. This is awful. After collecting myself, I got back in the fight. Normally on Java, this part's pretty easy. You just slash him and he's dead before you know it. I don't know what I was doing wrong here. I was trying to slash him. I'm going to blame the fact that I was on a phone. It was annoying. What it boils down to is I wasn't prepared for the ferocity of the Bedrock Wither, and it bested me. My escape tunnel was gone, the room was filling with lava, and yeah, I died. I said earlier that I respawn. It's not so bad. The world isn't deleted, but part of me wanted it to be deleted. Alright, I know for a fact I'm not going to kill that thing, especially without my gear, but this is Operation Get My Stuff Back. The plan is to drop in, grab my stuff, and cobblestone my way out. It's still there. Yeah, I found none of my stuff. Some XP, but that's probably from dead mobs. Well,
yeah, I'll use the emerald with durability.
Wait for my inevitable death. Oh, here it comes. Lovely. And then he died. Yeah, this seems like a perfect time to leave Ohio forever. Grabbed all my valuable possessions, took one last look, and then dipped out of there. I'm gonna start a new life at the 0-0 Shack, because I feel like the Wither will eventually consume Ohio. This'll be a good new life. I didn't even realize it's right next to a Badlands. If the audience wants it, I would play more. I definitely love to have
careful there,
vengeance on
Mr.
that Wither.
Raccoon.
Ohio needs me. They're in grave danger. Well, first I gotta go tend to my finger burns. Stay notable. See you in the next one.
What's your ability? Does the emerald? Whoa. It's a bit much, isn't it? I feel like it's a bit much. Compare that to the wooden bow. I don't know what Ender Rage is. Instant damage would be cool if it weren't for the fact that most of the enemies are zombies. Haste and weakness. Turtle Master. I'll keep the combustion though, they might be useful. As for the quivers, they are technically worthless. Unless I'm wrong, I'll keep one just in case. Would have been nice to have this Silk Touch Iron Shovel a little sooner. Oh, right, I meant to breed. Looking better every day. Soon enough it will be time to slaughter. Wow, why am I so lucky with the chicken hatches as of late? Looks like diamond hunting's gonna have to wait for next episode. I want to automate that farm, the Skelly farm, to an extent. The heck were the catfishes eating? Oh, the quivers. Funny. Right, there's a dripstone cave that I know of. That is easy to use. Oh! Wow, get the bubble! What the fuck, lady? Oh! There was another one, right? Where'd the other one go? Alright. things. Well, that's a lot of arrows. I could actually go for that one if I wanted. But the ones with emeralds are far more important and useful. Like this one that's asking for planks. Here, plank. This should be enough. Whoa, 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 whoa. Those are harpies. my god, that's another Minotaur. There's two of them. Oh, there's the doggos. You know, if you're a harpy, why can't you fly? Why can't they fly? Replaceable. What? Okay, I guess that's a thing now. I did not know this. What can I make with dripstone? Turn the spikes back into a block, but what about the vice versa? Ooh, shelter upgrade sounds nice. I can definitely get it easily enough. I just need some more iron and redstone, which... Schematic quill? What? Ooh. You can attach minecarts. A flower box, how nice. Oh, this is a cookie. The pickup upgrade seems like super nice. Like the one I actually really want out of all the upgrades. But I need slime. I can't use the dripstone on its own or anything. Lame. Let me get some bones. I want to see if I can get some doggy pals. They will definitely be useful. You know, it's always nice to have some friends.
Friends, and welcome back to Dungeon Design in Zelda. Last time, we tackled the Wind Temple, which I felt to be the game's intended first dungeon, since the various NPCs and visual indicators seem to push you in that direction early on. And apparently, I was the only one who didn't know that you could dive
Nice!
through
You
Colgera
did
to
me
do
loyal!
damage. How did I not know this? How did I not
Fantastic.
figure this out? What do you mean you can dive through him? What? Anyways, just as before, I took some time to consider how and where the game pushes us to next, and what feels to be the game's intended second dungeon. First things first, just like last time, I have to offer my obligatory spoiler warning. Over the course of this video series, nothing is off the table for discussion as long as I feel it relates to the
A
dungeon.
trio would be nice.
So if you want to avoid spoilers, go ahead and save this video into your watch later list and come back after you've completed the dungeon featured here. Sounds obvious, but I've gotta say it. With that out of the way,
Woohoo.
let's hop right into this.
Well, they teleport anyway, if I'm correct. There might be more dogs somewhere.
To the Fire Temple next. Technically, there is no set official dungeon order, but the game does imply an order and works to usher players in a particular direction still. Although in a way that is less heavy-handed than what we saw with the Wind Temple. For starters, Aura again straight up makes the suggestion heading towards Death Mountain next if you return to Lookout Landing to speak to her. You'll also find a couple of travelers and receiving detailed directions to Goron City while you're here. Between that, of chatter among NPCs regarding new roads leading up towards Death Mountain since that lava all cooled, and the simple fact that the gloom haze emerging from the once active volcano is visible from
I don't think that other dog's following me out.
It's not a huge stretch to say that many players will be drawn towards here.
Stuck in the
Death
water
Mountain
for some
is a
reason.
huge landmark, and even at a distance, it is notably different compared to how we saw it in Breath of the Wild. So I personally found myself wanting to check it out and see what's changed. And apparently I'm not the only one who was pulled in this direction by this point. I ran another poll just like before, this time asking which dungeon people had done
really
second.
tough.
And at the time of writing this, the poll already nearly has the same number of votes as the first one. And of those 844 voters, 45% went to the Fire Temple next. The results are certainly not as drastic as last time, but still, nearly half of these people choosing this one out of 5 options still feels pretty substantial. Death Mountain itself feels incredibly fresh here. In Breath of the Wild, huge sections of the mountain were completely unexplorable due to massive pools of lava, including a huge caldera that forms a ring around the entire mountain. Now, all of this space is fully traversable and filled with caves, enemy caves, and various points of interest. We're also guided to approach the mountain from the west instead of the south this time. Factoring these in, this area all feels familiar yet fresh, a perfect balance. So now that we know where and why we are heading this way, let's look at the pre-dungeon stuff to do leading up to Despite the lava cooling, things aren't looking great here for the Gorons who make their home on the mountain. The typically hardworking and proud tribe has gone lazy, gorging themselves on strange rocks, which we can see as early as our climb up to the bedrock bistro and along our approach towards the city. Something is up with the Gorons, a lazy malaise. As it turns out, the regional crisis here on Death Mountain is the introduction of marbled rock roast. Real talk here. The game plays it up for laughs, but this is legitimately serious. Ganon's plan in the 4 regions is to starve the Rito out with a blizzard, poison the Zora's water, and overrun the Gerudo with hordes of undead monsters. But for the Gorons, perhaps overpowering them didn't feel like a viable option. So instead, he starts a mass drug epidemic. I'm not even kidding, this is literally what is happening here. Granted, a cartoonish one, but still one nonetheless. These Gorons are suffering from addiction. They stop working and spend all day gorging themselves, prioritizing nothing else. The dialogue between this young Goron seeing his older brother succumb to addiction, while the older brother simply barks at him to get more money so he can buy more of this marbled rock roast, that is heartbreaking. Here in Goron City, we'll meet with old Bluto. Although, I never know how to pronounce his name. And our old pal, Yunobo, who is not quite acting like himself. After a little bit of bullying, Bluto will adjust to the new Yunobo Co. HQ, where we'll find Slurgo and Offrak, who will ask for our help setting Yunobo straight. Setting him straight means fighting him, naturally. Turns out he's being brainwashed, and breaking his mask frees him from this weird mind control business. We have Death Mountain with Yunobo acting as our Cannonball Man. Again, Cannonball Man. At the top, we'll battle Oregion, who breaks through the summit of the mountain. This is a fairly simple sort of mid-boss battle. It's fine, but overall, fairly forgettable. What I do love is seeing how willing to charge forward Yunobo is. This guy has seen some character growth between games, and I love that. Down into the depths, explore the darkness down here. Our sights set a massive structure, the existence of which has been hinted to us by some NPC chatter. It is, of course, a dungeon, but before we head in, a few thoughts. It is interesting to me how few speed up feels compared to the Wind Temple's approach. The path isn't as well defined as it was climbing up the rising Jade Islands, so it feels a little less refined and polished in comparison. But there's a lot of optional areas to explore and baddies to fight, which I find fun. It's very open and exploratory, meaning you can take the route that you feel is best, or you can take the minecarts and skip over all of that. Easy. Options are always good. Meanwhile, while I think the depths overall have this eerie vibe that I enjoy quite a lot, setting in the dungeon and half of the dungeon approach down here is a bit of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, they can use that eeriness, which is great. On the other hand, it also just isn't as unique. Yes, the depths are super expansive, but generally lacking in visual variety. If this is somehow your first time in the depths, then this could very well be incredible. But if you've spent a long time down here like I have, then it just doesn't pack the same punch. Again, a mixed bag. But I do think it is more fun than the climb up towards La Rodania that we did with Unova back in Breath of the Wild. With all of that said, once we've climbed our way over here, we can head into the dungeon. This is the Fire Temple, otherwise known as Gorondia, which is the name that makes way more sense. If I'm being honest, it really feels as though they slapped the temple names onto these dungeons as an afterthought. Maybe in the hopes of making us old fans happy? I don't know. Stormwind Ark was not really a temple. It's an airship, and Gorondia is not really a temple either. As we learned from various bits of NPC dialogue, these are the ruins of an ancient Goron civilization that lived underground in the ancient past. In a way, this was Goron City. Not the Goron City, perhaps, but a Goron City, or at least what's left of it. Naturally, many of the buildings and structures have crumbled away or deteriorated to varying degrees. This could have actually been only one part of a much larger settlement, as we do see ruins outside of the dungeon borders. Even a hot spring, a Goron staple. Likely, Gorondia was once much larger than the handful of buildings remaining here. Visually speaking, this place has a whole vibe to it. I genuinely really love the architecture here. It's made of this distinct red stonework. It has a somewhat industrial feeling, with these minecarts winding about. This place feels like perhaps it could have been a hub for a mining or excavation operation once run by the Gorons, with everything connecting back to a central plaza, which has both controls for directing minecarts as well as spare parts for the carts themselves. Wait, Gorons? Mining operations? This feels familiar. Of course, like the Stormwind Ark, there seems to be a blend of cultural styles here, once again with the architecture, with Zonai influences being found pretty well everywhere. That said, the Zonai markings and devices all seem a bit out of place compared to the more plain Goron building style, which may hint towards Gorondia's age even more. It could be that the place was built by the Gorons, only to have Zonai devices and markings retrofitted in later, once Hyrule and its monarchy was officially established. That's speculation on my part, of course, but it would explain why we find constructs guarding the place, and why Zonai devices such as these gongs, which act as mechanisms to unlock this gate,
Oh, what the heck
feel
is
a bit
this?
out of place here. What I would guess was that they were built later on than the rest of the city, with Zonai assistance. But of course, with the Gorons' abilities in mind. The Gorons may have had a mining operation going on here, which the Zonai, perhaps even Minoru herself, helped them to later automate. So these minecarts, which are stamped with the Goron insignia and are distinct from the Zonai minecarts found in the sky, later have fans added to them, so that perhaps no Gorons need to pull them manually anymore, or eliminating the need for them to rely on gravity to pull them in a single direction. Again, this is all speculative, but it is interesting to look a little closer and see the kind of history that is implied through just architecture here. Before we go any further, I'd like to talk about the music real quick. As usual, the dungeon music builds upon itself as we make progress. It starts out eerie, with haunting choir voices, which reminds me of the old Fire Temple theme from Ocarina of Time. It's not exactly those voices, but it feels like a callback to the feeling that old track had. Next, it brings in a slow beat with piano trills and some industrial-sounding percussion, which is taken right from Varudania's theme. Phase 3 adds in even more layers and increases the tempo, giving the tension and feeling of triumph a simultaneous boost. Phase 4 does the same, but also incorporates Daruk's theme into the track. This part is my favorite section of this dungeon's music. It's more varied and interesting than the rest, and Daruk's theme gets to shine so nicely. It was already a great composition, but in Breath of the Wild, it always felt to me like it didn't quite suit the Goron champion. This rendition, on the other hand, feels far more fitting. It also feels like there's an element of danger to this track, competing with Daruk's more optimistic theme. And finally, in perhaps a strange choice, once all terminals are active, the track drops off almost entirely, leaving us with simple ambience. This is the final piece of music after completing pretty much everything in the dungeon, but before the boss fight, making this the calm before the storm, in a sense. Overall, the Fire Temple's music is great. There's a lot of ambient sounds mingling together here, a solid beat, and familiar themes to tug at your nostalgia. It's wonderfully done. Once again, actually playing through the Fire Temple is a divisive subject for many. One that seems awfully polarizing. Many call this place an outright headache, citing its over-reliance on minecarts and its layout that often involves entering certain rooms from particular floors as downright confusing, a chore that they don't really want to do. Others have called it a fascinating puzzle box that really tests the brain power of the player. I'll be honest, on my first playthrough, I did not lean either particular way with it. I had really no strong feelings about the dungeon either way, ranking it pretty squarely in the middle. But as I mentioned before, the playthrough I am doing for these videos is now my third save through. Now that I've had a chance to play it first on my own time, once more on stream, and now a third time for this video while taking notes, it's up towards the latter side. Each time I have ventured into this dungeon, I have approached it differently and left appreciating it more. That may come down to playstyle and what I enjoy about dungeons, but let's break it down a bit more thoroughly. The dungeon has 5 floors and is comprised of several isolated buildings that are connected by a system of minecart tracks. There's a room on the 3rd floor that much of the dungeon connects back on as well, which also includes a shortcut that you can later unlock to quickly and easily here. The objectives are once again to activate a handful of terminals to unlock the door to the boss chamber. All of this is done using minecarts to get around, by activating switches to alter the track layouts, using hydrants to create platforms in the lava, not unlike the lava puzzles of Dragonroost Cavern in Wind Waker, or the Fire Sanctuary in Skyward Sword, and combining all of these with Yunobo's fire chargeability in order to complete puzzles. As it stands, in no particular order, the puzzles roughly go like this. We make our way over to this room by way of minecart, switching the tracks appropriately as we go, make a stone ramp
Alright,
so
it's
that
7 by
Yunobo
7.
can break this boulder and activate the first terminal. Once more, navigate the tracks until we reach this room,
1,
use
2,
recall and
3,
ride this
4,
platform
5,
back
6,
across the
7.
lava and activate the terminal. Make our way up to this far room
1,
upstairs,
2,
build an
3,
even
4.
larger ramp, and launch Yunobo to activate the terminal.
5,
Right up to the top floor so that we can climb in this room and drop down to the room directly below and activate the terminal.
7.
And finally, navigate to this room, have Yunobo break the rocks on the ceiling, ride to the block that falls, back up with recall, and activate the terminal. Taken on their own, these all sound pretty simple, but what this puzzle synopsis fails to capture is how large a part simply navigating to each of these spots plays. Making our way to each of the terminals is a challenge and a puzzle in and of itself. Some tracks are broken, so the direct route is not feasible. Some switches need to be activated at the right times to rearrange the tracks in a way that will take us to our intended destination. Some tracks are just blocked by marbled boulders that we need Yunobo to break. Actually activating the terminals is simple, but that moment acts as catharsis, the payoff for your efforts to just get there. On paper, this is all great stuff. A true, proper, puzzle-focused dungeon, the likes of which we haven't seen in years. Except for one factor that vastly undermines this.
1,
The cheese
2,
factor.
3,
If you
4.
don't know what I'm talking about, allow me to indulge. Cheesing something is the act of circumventing unintended design by way of unintended and often easier methods. Whether that be cheesing your way through a boss fight by spamming a particular move, or in this case, cheesing your way through an entire network of puzzles by using a rocket shield to bypass everything and head straight towards your objectives. In my Wind Temple video, I discussed how that dungeon elegantly designed around the cheese factor by placing all of our objectives below us within the dungeon. So even though we retained all of our usual mobility, such as climbing, paragliding, and using ascend, we still had to operate within the intended parameters of the dungeon. There's no way to bypass a puzzle using an ascend in that dungeon because we had to start at the top and work our way downwards. Simple, but effective. Fire Temple unfortunately makes little effort to actually design around that cheese factor. A large and brilliant puzzle is laid out before us, but the temptation for many players to simply skip these puzzles altogether is too strong, and it undercuts their value. For this playthrough, I forced myself to not skip any puzzles, to
Why
not
would you do
cheese
that?
anything. And you know what? I enjoyed this playthrough of the dungeon way more than the previous two. The satisfaction of figuring out the layout, using switches to connect, redirect, and reconnect tracks, and reaching my objectives that way was incredible. I've said it before, this may be a matter of taste. My favorite dungeons are the kind that are not a series of rooms with individual puzzles, but rather a singular, larger puzzle that makes use of a great core mechanic, the likes of the forest or water temples. That's what we
The
get
water
here,
temple?
and it is great, if you choose to engage with it. The question then is, how could that have been improved upon? How do we design around that cheese factor? Some would say that disabling ascend or limiting our mobility would be the answer. For example, shrines prevent you from climbing while you're inside of them. Why not follow suit here? But I disagree. I propose a much simpler solution. Instead of stripping Link of his mobility, limit Yunobo's. Yunobo is both our companion and dungeon item in a sense. His fire charge is key to removing obstacles, namely the deliberately placed marbled rock boulders, as well as being how we activate these gong mechanisms. In essence, our dungeon objective is to bring Yunobo to each of these 5 locations. Yunobo is also a Goron. He's a big guy. It makes sense that Tulin can fly around and keep pace with Link, and I'd argue that the sage avatars we get after the dungeons should also be able to get to and go anywhere as well. That's fine. But for whatever reason, if you use a rocket to fly somewhere, Yunobo is somehow able to just jump over and catch up to you. Why does he even need Link if he can do that? It makes no sense that he be so mobile, so restrict his movements. Make it so that he must either walk or ride the minecarts. Take away his game-breaking ability to warp to the player. Then we would have to approach puzzles more deliberately. Link could stay just as mobile, be able to climb around and scout out areas, or even just get a better view of the tracks to figure out how to approach things. Then you have to get in the cart and actually bring Yunobo there properly. Dungeon fixed. I mean it. Even though the dungeon lacks keys and locked doors like the Wind Temple did, I would say that my proposed fix would act in a similar way. Since Yunobo limits our progression, we'd still have a bit of wiggle room and freedom to explore the dungeon.
Riju kinda does that
need to
in
adhere
the
to these
Thunder Temple,
minecart puzzles.
but
I
only
know
during
I
the
talk
beginning.
a lot about keys
Whoa,
and
is that an
locked
entire
doors. I am
block
just
of
as
raw
cool with
copper?
something else filling that
Wowee,
It doesn't
what?
have to be a literal key. That's just my go-to terminology. What I really think is that I need something to impede my progress, something to stand in my way, something for me to overcome and have that aha moment. During this playthrough, those minecarts gave me that, and it was awesome. The thing is, too, that there are a few spots where I can see that they were trying to prevent circumventing puzzle solutions. For example, this room has a couple of cascading lava falls that prevent us from simply climbing across the walls, and most of the ceilings aren't too high up to use ascent with, but it's all simply not enough. Zonai devices, vehicles, or even just rockets make everything trivial. And it's not like it's something you have to go out of your way to bring in from another area either. They literally give you rockets within this dungeon. Why wouldn't players use them? I know a great strength of the game and key point of its marketing is its boundlessness, its freedom of exploration, and its willingness to let you approach things when and how you would like. 90% of the time, that is great. But that other 10% of the time, namely the time spent inside of a dungeon, it is a flaw that could very easily be remedied. Anyways, I've raked on long enough. Once we've got all terminals activated, we can head through the now unlocked gate and confront the dungeon boss. Entering the boss chamber, we won't initially be confronted by the dungeon boss, though you may remember from the start of the dungeon our attention being drawn to the cluster of marbled rock that formed on the ceiling. Using Yunobo to break this will reveal the dungeon boss. Goma's back, baby! This is Marbled Goma specifically. Just as a side note, placing Goma on the ceiling like this and drawing attention to its singular eye really feels like a direct callback to the Queen Goma battle back in Ocarina of Time. It goes by quickly, but I appreciate it. Maybe less noticeable a reference is in the music. For the most part, it's an amped up remix of the Fire Temple theme itself, but there's this deliberate piano piece that is included here. This constant rising and falling, which again is not one-to-one, but sounds to me like a callback to the piano used back in Ocarina of Time's boss battle theme, which was first heard playing that game's version of Goma. This could be just me hearing what I want to hear. It's entirely possible. I'm no musical savant, as I've said many times. But what it feels like to me isn't that they're trying to replicate the exact notes of those old songs, but rather recapture the feeling, the heart of them. If that's the case, then it's a success. Visually speaking, I think it's solid. Goma has had a lot of different looks over the years, with Ocarina of Times probably being my personal favorite. Speaking frankly, I did not care for Twilight Princess's rendition with Arma Goma, as I felt making it simply a giant spider was reductive in a way. Goma has always been an arachnid, yes, but never quite a spider. Except for that one instance, Goma's always been more unique and ambiguous. Here, they leaned all the way into Goma having a stone body, or at least carapace, and it works. It's a bit tame compared to what they would have done here, especially considering how visually distinct Colgera looks, but I'm not complaining about it, that's for sure. The battle itself is pretty Goma. It's a Goma battle if I've ever seen one. I've made my stance on giant eyeball weak points on Zelda bosses very clear over the years. I think it is usually very boring and simply overused, becoming something of a design crutch over the years. Goma gets a pass, though. It is, and always has been, a part of her identity in every incarnation. And the fact is, she is only one out of many bosses in the game. If every boss had a giant eyeball weak spot added, looking at you, Majora's Mask 3D, then I would mark this down as a complaint. However, that's not the case. It's Goma's thing, so it's all good in my burger books. Goma will use her 4 massive legs to try and crush you, spit out explosive rocks, even attempting to barricade you in with them, and just generally try to crush you with her body. You can either try to snipe the eye directly, ascend straight up to it, or the more telegraphed option, use Yunobo to break apart her legs and stun her, which leaves her down and vulnerable to attack. And this is a very classic Zelda fight, and I mean that in the best way. It's not the most challenging, especially if you've got good weapons in your pocket, but it does the job well enough. Besides, the most important factor is fun, and I always find myself having fun in this fight. So in that regard, it's a success. Once enough ocular damage has been dealt, Goma will go down. We get our heart container as usual, Yunobo gets his secret stone, and we'll learn about the imprisoning war for definitely the first and last time. Oh, and the Gorons are all sober now. I'm proud of you, Gorons. So that's the dungeon. I mentioned before how the Wind Temple felt like a love letter to fans of The Wind Waker, and in many ways the Fire Temple feels the same, but for Ocarina of Time fans. Maybe it's my nostalgia speaking, maybe it's me just seeing what I want to see, but I love that about this place. Overall, I believe your enjoyment of the Fire Temple will come down to your taste, and how you choose to engage with it. It comes down to what you enjoy about Zelda dungeons. For me, my enjoyment comes from the aha moments. I don't want to be politely ushered from one set piece to the next in order to advance a story. I want to work for it. As strange as it sounds, I want to endure a certain level of stress so that when I push past that challenge, I have a moment of earned satisfaction. That is probably the reason I love classic dungeons so much. I want to see the tangled knot, work my way through it, pick it apart.
You can really only do that kind of enjoyment once, though.
Can deliver that, but you have to choose it.
A puzzle is only enjoyable the first time.
All about player choice.
A riddle
they should have taken that choice
is
away
only enjoyable
in this
the first time.
particular instance. My earlier proposed
Unlike
change
a
would do
harder
just that.
game that
Let
challenges
you go anywhere and stamp
physical
things out,
related
but we
stuff
need to
rather than
bring
mental
Yunobo with
related
us to
stuff.
actually make progress, having it so that he cannot teleport around and
Not saying it's
magically catch up
impossible.
to
You have strategy
Make
games like
players
Advance
rethink
Wars.
how they
I
want to
always
approach
have
the
trouble
dungeon,
with
and believe it or
in
not,
Advance Wars
I
Days of
believe
Ruin.
having
A
to
certain
think about
stage,
things is
which
good.
I'm
If
pretty
you
sure
want
to
an
anyone
example of
who's
how this
also
can be
played the
done
game
right,
knows already
look
what
no
I'm
further
talking
than
about.
the Tower of Spirits in Spirit Tracks, which has
But
a Phantom
the classical
Zelda act as a companion that
puzzles
you need to work
that Zelda
cooperatively
used to
with.
use
That dungeon
are really
does
only enjoyable the
overstay its
first
welcome
time.
right, but man, it has some good puzzles. The cheese factor aside, however, what we do get here is a winding puzzle box set over the backdrop of an incredibly visually appealing fire-themed dungeon. The music is great, the boss is fun, the puzzles are top quality should you choose to actually do them. I'd like to take a quick moment here to thank you for watching this video, and special thanks goes out to my channel members here on YouTube, as well as my supporters on Patreon. You guys make this all possible, so thank you to Grey Mage, Brenda, Tetra, Justin, Midnight Naomi, and Buddy, as well as all of the folks whose names you're seeing on screen right now. You guys are awesome. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Alright, I'm actually quite deep now. I think this should be a good enough fall. Welcome to the underground. Yeah, I organized this a little wrongly. And this is just kind of awkward. An L shape. Whatever. Too late now. I'm an idiot. All I did was race. I need actual stairs. Fuck me, I guess. I wasted these cobblestones. I can probably use them for some other build some other time. But I definitely just wasted them right now. I gotta pee again. It's raining. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, a mine shaft. Glow squid slaw. Another one over here too. Oh, another one over there. After those. Yeah, this seriously feels like cheating. What is this? It's beneath the tortured village. 3, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Should probably raise the ceiling at least just a little bit. Also that. Yes. And the site is way more useful now with the create mod. However, sadly, the other two are still useless. Notably, Diorite still looks like bird shit. Iskall would not be happy. The plan from here is very simple. Actually, it only needs to be 1 block wide. Ah. I understand these noises now. See that map? The water I'm hearing isn't rain, it's the fact that I'm next to an aqueduct.
Has anyone taken a second to realize how weird and inconsistent the Minecraft potion system is? Like, mundane potions serve no use. You can make invisibility by corrupting night vision, and they're both positive status effects. You can make slowness by corrupting jump or speed. And weakness potions are the only potions in the game that are made with water bottles and not awkward potions. Like, why the inconsistencies? Also, oh yeah, thick potion. Iron Golem textures are yellow, but instead of dandelions. Well, they drop Hoppy, but this one's just a bully. What's wrong, big guy? You wanna go? You wanna go, big man? Yeah, you wanna go? You wanna go? Yeah, you wanna go? Come at me, come at me, come at me, come at me. I dare you. Come at me, come at me. Come at me. Come at me. That's right. That's right. Why do nitwits exist? Like, buddy, no one asked for you. I wonder what item I should give myself today. Very cool. I want to remove this sweet, but I don't know how. Oh wow. Oh wow, you must be indestructible. Never mind. Yo, what the hell? It had blast resistance. Cauldrons are just upside down paints. And vice versa. Although this seems a little bit too large for me, I'll be honest. Maybe one size lower. My task is to make this piston face this way with only placing and breaking one block. It's like... What just happened? Breaking stone gives cobblestone. But breaking a stone slab doesn't give a cobblestone slab.
Oh, come on.
You can't hurt me. Ah, what the heck? Aw, you're so cute. I love you. You're so cool. Bruh. So, let me get this straight. How come golden carrots are edible, but golden melons aren't? Guests are voiced by cats. Isn't that right? That's a cat, alright. Wither skeletons drop their skulls, but skeletons don't, for some reason.
So,
Has anyone actually ever
how do I
questioned
force
beds
the
belong in
skeletons
the
to
Nether? Like, where the
go
heck?
where I want them to?
If infinite water sources exist,
I know
why don't
trapdoors
infinite lava sources exist?
fool them into falling down, but
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine. You're not really fine, and you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
also, quick shout out to this OST. Holy shit, this is such a banger sounding right now.
Ah yes, terrain generation at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, let's be honest. Who actually knows the daylight sensor crafting recipe? Nobody, that's it. Exactly how I envisioned it to go. Alright, I get it. Mats are aesthetic. But why do they have to be so useless? Speaking of useless, thank you, Minecraft. Very cool. Smooth quartz block, smooth quartz slab, smooth quartz stairs. Smooth red sandstone, smooth red sandstone slab, smooth red sandstone stairs. Smooth sandstone slab, and smooth sandstone stairs. Smooth stone slab, Oh wait, it doesn't exist. What? What am I standing on? Netherite doesn't burn in lava. It's one of its best properties, of course. But it still does when being put into a shelter box. Okay, I know. Every single person and their mom comments this, but yes. You can milk every cow in the game, and you can breed every cow in the game, meaning they're all females that reproduce together. I know, and you can stop telling me about it now, thank you. I know, technically lava is thicker, right? So even with fire res, why can't we drown in it? Well, this is a really good example, but we should still be able to drown in lava. I mean, it would suck, but it would make sense. Speaking of
Oh yeah, I
drowning,
never thought of that.
if Powerfish gives you all these nasty
If you could
static
survive in
effects,
lava,
why do we
could
use
you breathe
pufferfish
on it?
as the ingredient for drowning potions or potions of water breathing? Like, bro,
From the
she's a regular
source, it
fish.
goes
This just seems like
1,
it make
2,
poison
3,
potions.
4, 5,
Hoppers are
6,
crafted out of chests,
7.
which have 27 item slots, but they only have 5. What happened to the 22 other item slots? Time for my morning boat ride. What's this? We'll be best friends. Yeah! Get 'em!
2, 3,
Get 'em
4,
all!
5,
You're so good at this!
6, 7.
You're a good friend. And you always come back.
1,
Thank
2,
you, best friend. Bam!
shirt.
Woohoo! We got it! We did it! We did it! Best friend, we did it! We did it! We actually did it! We did it! We did it!
Paint me green
We did
and
it!
call
I
me
can't
a
believe we've done
pickle.
it! We've actually done it! Woohoo! Wait. Best friend. Best friend. I might as well join him in the void. Where I go. You waited! You waited for me! You waited all this time? You actually waited! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I missed you. I missed you, best friend. Thank you. Thank you for always coming back. Oh, fuck!
This is kinda silly. This should work well enough. Oopsie. Well, fuck. I just want to get this over with. I'm gonna switch things to peaceful real quick, just so I can make the final touches. Nice.
Fifth challenge run, Final Fantasy II. With the booming success that Final Fantasy I had in 1987,
Oh
this
my
led
god, I
to
just noticed this is a
really big
4-hour
revolutionary
video.
catalog for Final
You know,
Fantasy
I'm gonna
II
do
to
the
be
rest
created.
off
Final
screen.
Fantasy II, in
I
my
don't feel like
opinion, is
starting
the
a new
easiest of
recording.
all the Final Fantasies.
And I'm playing
The
Genshin
level
after.
system has been removed and